Yeah, welcome back to my class. Today we want to look at constant, right? Now, why do we need constant in C? There are times you will have to hard code values into your program repeatedly, but that is prone to error. So sometimes, in order to prevent such error, you just introduce a constant at the beginning of your code. And while compilation takes place, it will simply replace all those variables with the values. But so a constant is a user-defined name that is given to your memory location, right? That the values cannot be altered. There are two ways you can actually name or declare your constant in C. You can use the preprocessor or you can use the constant keyword. So example of that is one, you can do this, you can do define, you can use this. The second one is that you can use this constant keyword. You can use this. Now, what is the difference between these two? Now, for the define keyword, this is a preprocessor. For this define statement, when you declare a constant using this, the preprocessor will have to replace all the values, right, with the name that you have given. So this is like a macro before passing it to the compiler. While if you use this one, it means you are declaring a variable and then you are making that variable constant. So a constant is actually the opposite of a variable. And another thing is that this define is used at the global level. So you cannot alter it if there is any need for that in future. But if you use this constant, you can use a pointer in C to alter that value of the memory location because it's actually a memory location. So I'm going to write a very small program just to demonstrate how to use this and how to use this for you to understand. So the first thing I will do is the first one, which is what? Using the preprocessor. So I will say this include stdio.h, which is for our print statement, for our print function. Then here I will say define. Then let's just say we have tax rate, right? And the tax rate is 7.5%. So we call it tax rate. Then using our underscore. This is an identifier. So you can see how I named it. Two words, tax rate, but I'm using underscore, not dash. Tax rate, and then I'll say 0.075. So this is the value. I am saying anywhere you see this tax rate, replace it with this value. That is what this is. I will now come here, I will say int main. This is my main function. Then I will go in, and in this place I will say print f tax rate is, then I will do this. Then I will bring my format specifier f. Then I'll close this and I will say tax underscore rate. Then I'll close this. All right, so this is what I'm saying. Then I'll say return 0. And then this I will close. Right? So what this is simply saying is that this is a string literal that we printed out on the screen. Tax rate is, then this is a placeholder that is expecting a value, which is a float. So it will replace this tax rate with this value and it will print it out on the screen. So this program will print out tax rate is 0.075. But because it's a float, it's going to add additional 3 decimal places. It will print out this on the screen. But if I want the value to be exactly this on the screen, which is what? This one will be what? 0.075. I want it exactly like this. That means I have to change this to %.3f. This one will give me this exact value. I'm still going to teach you format specifier more in my program. But I'm simply saying that if I want the output to give me this exact value, I'm going to do this, to do my formal specifier. So this is how you declare a constant using this preprocessor directive. That's what I want to show you. So let's go to the other format, and then let me show you how to write that one. So I'm just going to wipe this off. So here I will just say main int main, which is my function. Then I will come here and I will say, I will use the constant keyword, const. Then I will declare a data type, that same program that I have written. So I will say float, then tax rate, and I will assign 0.075 to it. Then I will close my statement. So this one now, I am saying that I have created a messenger, which is what? Tax rate. But the value that this messenger is going to carry in this float rem is constant. So I'm giving the value to it. So this value that I've given to this messenger cannot be altered. But because C allows you to control the memory space, I can actually use it to alter it, but that would not make sense. I mean, I'm declaring something as constant. Why would I now want to change it again in future? But should there be a need to do that, then this is the best way to declare that constant, not the previous method. Because that previous method, once you declare using the preprocessor directive, define, what the system simply does is that before compilation, it will look for all the places of tax rate and replace the value before passing it. So that is like hard coding it into the system. But you use a constant, it will replace before passing it to the compiler. So at that point, there is no memory location that is created by the compiler. So in the future, you can't change it, right? Hope you get the difference. All right. So constant float tax rate, then you give the value to it. Then I can now come here and I'll say print f tax rate is, then I will do the same thing, my format specifier f, then I'll close this, comma, then I'll put tax underscore rate. So this is my output. Then I would say return 0. Then I'll close this. So this is my program. Now, this is just a different way of writing, declaring a constant in your variable. So I've declared a constant in the float rem, and the name of that constant is what? Tax rate. And then I'm giving this value to it. So it will come here, and this printf, which is a function, I told you, the reason, the place where you are going to get the definition of this printf is here. That is why I'm always putting this in my program, because I need the definition of this. If I didn't do this, the compiler will not know how to interpret, will not know the meaning of this printf. That's just it. So it's going to, this printf will now put this value inside uh, uh, inside the path for it to be displayed on the screen, and then it will take this value, interpret it from this rem, and then print it out on the screen. So this will also still give you same thing. It will give you tax rate is 0.075, 1, 2, 3, right? It will give you this on the screen. I told you in the last class, if I want this to be this exact value, then I will have to change this, my format string. So I think what I should do now is go to code blocks and actually demonstrate this for you to see the practical output of this. So I need to introduce that part in my lecture now, where I teach you the theory, then practically demonstrate it on the IDE for you to see the output. So let's go to code blocks. Let me show you how to display this on the screen. Let's create new project. This, next, C, next. I will call it constant. Okay, it already asked if I written. I say yes. So I think I already have that before. So overwrite, yes, overwrite it. Warning, the wizard is about to overwrite. Yes, overwrite it. So this is it. Now I am just going to open this, which is the default code that is put in. Just going to delete this. This is my include stdio.h. So what put that back. Come here. So include stdio.h. What I put in the class for you, which is the constant, I showed you two formats in which you can create. So let's create using the preprocessor. So I'll say hash define. Then what we did was what? Tax underscore rate. Tax rate, this is the value. Then we say 0.075. That is what we created. Then int main, I put this. So I come, so here I will type my print f, right? Then I'll do this. So I'll say tax rate is, then I do this. Then I'm putting my percentage format specifier f. Then I am putting tax underscore rate. So that is what I am having there. Then I close this statement and I say return 0. Then I have this. So any is going to compile, but before compilation, it will replace this tax rate with this 0.075, and then it will print out this on the screen. So when it does that, so I'm going to compile, run and compile. So it's printing out 0.075000, right? That's what I told you. Now, if I wanted to print out exactly the 0.75, I'm going to change this place to 0.3, right? That was what I said. Then I'm going to do it again. So you see, it's giving me the exact value. All right. So that is the first one. Now I can comment this. I thought to comment. I can comment this out and then just come in here and create my constant using the constant keyword. Constant. So I will have to create float. Then I'll say tax underscore rate, tax rate. Then I will assign 0.075 to it. Then in this one, so when I execute this, it's still going to give me, what is that? Error expected. Oh, okay, sorry. This is a statement. I'm supposed to end it, terminate it like this. So I will run it again. So it's going to give me the same value, 0.075. Then if I remove this and then run it again, to give me 0.075000. See? Same thing. So that is just what I want to show you, the two ways in which you can create your constant. You can either use this define, which is the preprocessor directory, or you can use this constant keyword inside your main function with a float, with a data type. So that is all I have to show you in this class. If you have come this far, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Till we see in the next class. Bye-bye.